Young Turks membership gets you 18 different progressive shows that you're gonna love. It's like a progressive Netflix. How do you get it? Just click the link in the description box below.
The death of a Ferguson protester's son is being investigated right now as a suicide, although the family asserts that something else is more likely to blame. Melissa McKinnes is the mother who found Danye Jones's body back on October 17th, hanging from a tree in the backyard of their home in Spanish Lake in St. Louis County. A police report lists suicide as the nature of the investigation. But both McKinnes and the family say that there are details about the story that make it seem like suicide is not actually the cause. McKinnes says Jones had bruises on his face. McKinnes and police say there was a chair near the body. Melissa was quoted as saying, "A mother knows her child. He was not suicidal at all. He was in good spirits." And additionally, family members told a local TV station that the sheets used to hang him didn't come from their house, and the knots used to tie the sheets were advanced. They said they don't believe that Jones would have been capable of making those knots. However, we won't know for sure what might have happened if there was some sort of assault. For several weeks, the medical examiner's determination could take at least that long. And they don't have any intention of making any preliminary findings available before that.
Okay, so this one is a very hard story because, look, some of the stories we cover about racial injustice in this country are clear, crystal clear, no matter what the authorities say. So I remember a story we did recently where we showed you the video of the cops punching the guy in the face repeatedly and he falls to the ground. In the police report, they said that they had assisted him to the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in a manner of speaking, you did by punching him in the face repeatedly. So and so we're not afraid to say on this show that cops lie from time to time. Now, it doesn't mean all cops lie. It doesn't mean a majority of the cops lie. But do cops lie fairly regularly throughout the country, and particularly against minorities? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. Okay. Now, in this case, it is very hard to tell. So I want everybody to reserve judgment because, like they say, the chair was near the body. But if you're going to commit suicide, you would have a chair nearby. Otherwise, how would you get up there? They say that he couldn't do those type of knots. Hard to tell whether your 24-year-old son could or couldn't do a particular kind of knot. That seems a little hard to fathom. So on the other hand, there are weird parts of this story. If the autopsy shows he actually did have bruises on his face, well, that would be very relevant. And then she says, the mom in this case, who was the protester at Ferguson, says that people had been coming by her house after threatening her online. And I thought, well, boy, that's incredibly strange. And she says, they watched my house. And it's possible that she's being paranoid. That's entirely possible. It's also possible that it's true.
Yeah.
Right? But the one that really got me at the end was police are still investigating two different murders of other Ferguson protesters, and it's been a while now. DeAndre Joshua was killed in November 2014, and Darren Seals was killed in September of 2016. Could be a coincidence that they both happen to be Ferguson protesters, and the mom in this case is a Ferguson protester. But the way that they were killed was incredibly strange. They were killed inside their cars, and the cars were lit on fire. The chances of that happening coincidentally to two different people, that is a very strange way to die.
Yeah.
Your car
Super
being
specific.
lit on fire, right? Yeah. And that was in 2014, 2016, now we have 2018. So that's why we want to be able to trust the cops in this country. Because if we trust them, we go, okay, great, the cops are going to investigate it, and we'll find out maybe there is a connection between all three. Maybe it wasn't a suicide. And it's depressing that oftentimes, we don't have as much faith as we would like in law enforcement, and that's why if they declare it a suicide right away, we worry that is a jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, the third possibility is that he was killed in a way that made it look like a suicide, not by the police, and the police are simply assuming it's a suicide because that is
Oh, no, no,
thing that you would
thank
think.
you for pointing that out, John. I don't even want to imply that the cops did it. No.
Okay.
It could be other vigilantes or right-wingers, racists, whatever it might be in the area who are targeting these people, or it could be totally unrelated. It could be a death related to other crimes, and then they did a suicide, and the mom happens to be a Ferguson protester. That's why there's no way of knowing now. So we're just giving you the relevant information, and it's not just a thing to say on air. I really don't want anybody jumping to conclusions because we have no idea what happened.
Yeah, but it's going to be very interesting when the autopsy comes out.
Yes.
If those bruises were actually inflicted by someone else.
Yeah, and to me, it's frustrating when either side makes a conclusion without having enough evidence. Oh, it definitely wasn't a suicide. Well, you definitely can't say that, right? And the other side that immediately goes, well, it was obviously a suicide, let's keep going. No, also not obvious. It doesn't take that much to do a little bit further investigation. Now, the great news here is the prosecutor in this area is now Wesley Bell. He's a great progressive, and he defeated McCullough, who covered for the cops who killed Michael Brown in Ferguson. So the fact that McCullough's not there anymore gives us tremendous faith. By the way, that's why voting matters. If Wesley Bell is at some point in charge of these investigations, then I have way more confidence that we're gonna actually get to the truth. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.